Tim is going to demonstrate how to put stirrups on 3 different types of leathers. A quick change 2.5-inch leather, a self-interlocking 2.5-inch leather, and finally a 4-inch stirrup leather fender. First, we'll assemble the Kimberley 2.5-inch quick change leather. Remove the keeper. Place the stirrup leather through the large port area of the stirrup. And bring the leather back up to you. Let the stirrup fall while holding on to both ends of the stirrup leathers. Now bring the strap back through the buckle from outside to inside. Buckle the leather into the appropriate hole. Proceed down to the stirrup and place the strap through the small port area of the stirrup. Now pull it back up towards the upper end and pull it all into place, bringing the keeper down towards the stirrups, locking everything into place. It's important to have the buckle and keeper in the right position. The self-interlocking stirrup is another Australian design of stirrup leather. To assemble this type of stirrup leather, you start out the same way as we demonstrated with the quick change leather. Unbuckle the stirrup leather and bring the strap end of the leather through the large port area of the stirrup. Bring it up and through the keeper that is sewn onto the leather. Then bring it halfway through and return to the buckle from the outside, through the buckle, proceeding into the inside. Buckle the leather into the appropriate hole. Then bring the strap through the smaller port area on the stirrup. Then bring the excess through and back up. We'll now pull everything back into place, tightening the stirrup leathers and the stirrups together. Once again, restating that it's important to have the buckle and keeper in the right position, as close to the stirrups as possible. We want the buckle and the keeper secure, and we want the buckle low enough so that it does not rub on the saddle flap. The 4-inch leathers, or fenders, give the saddle more of a Western look. Leaving the keeper strap on the leather, push it up and out of the way. Unbuckle the leather from the buckle and pull the strap end of the stirrup leather through the main part of the stirrup. Bring the strap through the keeper and then through the outside of the buckle towards the inside. Buckle the leather into the appropriate leather hole and bring the excess through the stirrup and then back up. Pull everything into place, pull the keeper down to tighten and lock the stirrup and leather together.
Slang. We all use it, from wearing boardies to eating bickies and having barbies. It's all just part of being Aussies.
Yeah. But right across Australia, different slang words can have different meanings. Take the word swimming costume, just for one example. In New South Wales, they're called cozies. In Queensland, they're referred to as togs. Victoria, well, they call them bathers.
All right, social analyst and demographer Mark McCrindle has conducted a study across Australia to find out how slang varies in different states and regions, and joins us now. G'day, mate. Were you surprised?
That's universal, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
even overseas people understand.
Yeah, I didn't even think that one through. I'm sorry. Were you surprised to learn just how diverse Aussie slang is? Because on the face of it, you'd think we all got the same thing going on.
The same language of English, the same Australian brand of English as well. But the extent of the regionalisms is a surprise. I guess historically we've come together from different colonies with their own histories, and it's got to the extent that you can have a different word in each state to describe the one thing. I mean, a classic example is what in Victoria they would call luncheon or luncheon meat. We would call it Devon here. They call it Fritz in South Australia, and polony in the West.
Oh. All right. Now, what you did find out that each state has a set of commonly used terms. So let's break it down, starting with Victoria.
Sure, yeah, you've got some different terms there. They might say bogus or bogan. The Victorians actually coined the term in the 80s, those who love wearing flannels and Ugg boots. We call them Westies in New South Wales. They're called Bevans in Queensland or Boonies in WA, but bogan is the term there. A nanga. Nang can mean something good, but a nanga is an uncouth Westie as well. Noff, not one friend as well.
Not one friend.
As in?
As in no friends. A Nigel, no friends, we
Nigel,
might say.
no friends, right.
They'll say a noff.
Oh, okay.
Now, moving to New South Wales, what are the most used slang terms?
Well, we use the term Westie to describe the bogans, but mad, fully sick. There's a real contrarian nature to our language, so if it sounds bad, it's good. If something's chronic, it's good, just like if it's fully sick. You know, it's sort of reversed.
What if it's chronically fully sick? Is it two negatives make it no?
No, it's still really, really good.
Okay, let's head north to Queensland.
Queensland, the place that have turned things around in a lot of ways. We've said rad and festy and feral and wrong. There's some words that we don't use as much in other parts of the world, in other parts of Australia. But take Queensland, the simple concept of, we'll say a telegraph pole. They'll use telegraph pole there, but in South Australia it's a Stobie pole. So the same concept, the same item, but different words Australia-wide.
What's it, your mum?
Your mum, that's sort of a comeback. So if someone says something negative about you, you say, well, same as your mum, right? But it's just become your mum, just the one particular phrase.
Right, and Scott, poor Scott, what's Scott done?
Scott as in Scott no friends. We would, again, the Nigel, the Scott, the Bevan, so the different terms for the different places.
I've been called some pretty interesting names over there in WA. What are some that we can repeat on TV?
WA is a classic because they love to ramp things up a lot. The corner store, we would call it a milk bar. Over there, it's the deli. Now, that's where we sell specialty cheeses and meats here in the rest of the country.
Right.
What we call a granny flat in most of the country, they'll call a chalet. So, you know, it sounds a bit better.
Big it up,
Got to
WA.
get me one of
Big it
those
up.
chalets.
Chalet, nice, huh? Munted Boonie.
Where are you spending your holidays? Oh, in the chalet.
Yeah,
Imagine all the grannies moving in if you called it that in New South Wales.
That's right, yeah.
Okay, South Australia?
South Australia, that's where the Stobie pole has been made famous, what we call, again, the telegraph pole. Afty is the one place where we would say arvo. They say afty, see it for some afties, meaning the afternoon. A little bit different there. A gun, let's gun it, that's a good thing. Animal is also good as something crazy. They use a little bit the word cantaloupe, as they do in Melbourne, whereas the rest of the country calls it rock melon. So different terms.
And Pete, what are you going to have for lunch? A piece?
A piece, yeah, being a sandwich. They might even say a Fritz piece, being a Devon sandwich.
Can you have a Fritz in the afty?
You
could, probably.
You would.
I reckon our Tassie cousins have some classics.
They do. They like to do blockies, which is sort of some burnouts. Luncheon, there you go. Fritz, bologna, we've discussed that one. But the Tassies have invented a few words of their own.
I used to do blockies and the neighbours used to get the Fritzes. I can say
Were you a bogan then?
No doubt about that. No doubt about that.
That's fascinating. That's great. Thanks, Mark. And what are you going to use all that information for, exactly?
Well, we've seen the differences in the generational language. It's great to see the differences in the regional use of language. And I think it just helps us understand more of ourselves as Australians and hopefully bridge some of those gaps.
A little snapshot.
Indeed.
Beautiful.
Classic research. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dean Jesberg. On behalf of myself and Karen, we welcome you here to a wonderful opportunity at Kangaroo Point. 88 Main Street at Kangaroo Point is just a unique opportunity. We've been appointed by the owners to sell the final 3 apartments in this exclusive boutique block of only 7. You will not find a more northern point on the Kangaroo Point Peninsula than 88 Main Street, overlooking the park, the river, and all these wonderful city buildings behind me.
Beautifully positioned right on the point overlooking the river city and parks are these boutique luxury units. The opportunity to buy in this 1 unit per floor, brand new development has never been better. Unit 1 is a unique ground floor unit with exclusive garden area and is pet friendly. Bigger than most houses, Unit 1 has a total area of over 400 square metres. Unit 4 boasts 315 square metres of superb living. Enjoy the 187 square metre entertaining terrace overlooking parklands and the city. Unit 7, the top floor penthouse, is 310 square metres with spectacular views and living areas, and a stunning rooftop entertaining area. Walk to the ferry, Story Bridge Hotel, and other amenities. A never-to-be-repeated project in this sought-after location. This is an opportunity not to be missed.
So I hope you enjoyed looking through our video of 88 Main Street. We'd love to see you down here for an inspection.